Please don't stop recording. What is up, everybody? Friends, fans, fam, followers, all the F words in between. How y'all doing? Oh, that was weird. Okay, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my corner of the world. I should probably stop gesticulating so much. Gesticulating, is that legal? Welcome back to my corner of the world, and today we're gonna do something a little different because in light of my most recent release, and by the way, if you haven't heard that yet, it's probably because you aren't following me on Instagram, which I don't know why you're not doing at this point, but if that's you, you can go ahead and just follow me at Sameh_. You're welcome. As I was saying, in light of my most recent release, I wanted to kickstart this new idea of mine that I got brewing in my brain. I wanted to see if you guys dig it because, and you know what? This is my YouTube channel, so I get to do that. Doesn't mean you have to watch it. As we all know, the unspoken agreement in the fine print of every contract between a vlogger and his viewers stipulates that
the aforementioned vlogger, my client, gets to run wild with whatever wacky idea comes to mind, and it is the viewer's responsibility to vote whether an idea works, needs some work, or should never be allowed to work in this town again. Sign here, and don't forget to subscribe.
Now, with all the legal formalities out of the way, allow me to introduce to you Origin Stories, a segment where I take a song of mine and I dissect it and the creation process behind it to give you guys a little insider scoop, some BTS tidbits, and just a little more information in general about where all the music comes from. Spoiler alert, it's me. It all comes from me. But like every other inhabitant of planet, Earth, I am not the same from one moment to the next. I grow, I adapt, I evolve, I shed my skin, figuratively. So what I'm hoping to actually do with this segment is sort of shed light on my frame of mind when I was in the middle of creating something to, you know, immortalize that lightning in a bottle feeling before the song was made. So without further ado.
You don't know me.
Then let me get to know you, damn it.
So the song for this week's segment is, drumroll please, Blowin Raspberries. All right, that's enough. Now a little general information about that song. It is my newest single. It literally just came out the day before I started recording this video. It is perhaps my favorite song of mine right now for two reasons. One, I think it is the epitome of my musical identity. And two, it promotes the most central commandment of my philosophy.
Thou shalt spreadeth positivity.
Line!
Thou shalt spreadeth positivity like a plague, even whilst thou encounters suffering in abundance.
In other words, why are you blowing raspberries when you should be blowing cookies? You heard me right. Now, unfortunately, I had finished making this song a long while back when I was still in LA, and I did not have a film crew running around my house, my studio, I should say, taking a video of my behind-the-scenes process, but I will do my best to give you guys a reenactment of every step of the process. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey, so please excuse the sudden outfit change and the sudden bout of sniffles. If you guys couldn't already tell, I'm filming this video over the course of several days simply because I'm fucking lazy. Last where we left off, we were talking about how this song came to be and how I was inspired to write it. Well, the idea actually came to me about 7 to 9 months ago. Yes, I know. It took a long ass time for it to come out, and that's not because I'm lazy. It's actually a whole other problem that I have. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I don't mean that as a humble brag. I actually hate being a perfectionist. I hate the idea of perfection. That still sounds like a humble brag, but let me explain. And I think perfection is an illusion, and I've been recently trying to teach myself how to stop thinking like that. I mean, I'm finding that the sooner I embrace my shortcomings right now, the sooner I'm able to accept my work and my art for what it is right now in this stage of my development. And, you know, fuck perfection. Anyway, back at the time, 7 to 9 months ago, I still am by the way, listening to a lot of Prince. And the gardener is here. You're about to hear a leaf blower. As ironic as it sounds, I think it's a great time to be a Prince fan because even though he's no longer with us to bless us with a sexy purple persona, his estate, ever since his passing, has been dropping these friggin' bombs on us from unreleased material, albums and shit, and rare live performances, all kinds of things that would just be a goldmine for people like me. So naturally, as was vibing. And what I normally do when I vibe, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people do, is I start to sing along or play along with the music I'm listening to, you know, just trying to bounce ideas off of what I'm getting from the record and just trying to take stuff that I like and make it my own, you know what I mean? And I was listening to Prince, so I was hella inspired. So it wasn't long before I played this instantly infectious riff that spawned the whole idea for Blowin Raspberries while jamming to one of Prince's performances. There's one thing you need to understand about me, and that is that I'm an audio-visuophile. Is that a real word? It might not be. I'm actually certain it's not a real word because I literally just made it up to describe how it is that I see music, and that's just the thing. I see music. But not in a literal sense. I'm not crazy. I just, you know, when I close my eyes and listen to music, I can very vividly picture geometric shapes, and how good a song is measured by how satisfying the shape I see in my head is. So that still sounded crazy. Fuck. I know, I get it. It's the part of my process that is extremely difficult for me to try to explain to people, and I normally keep it to myself, but that is not what we are doing in this video. This is exactly the kind of stuff I'm trying to demystify and elucidate, so hopefully by the end of this video this will seem a lot less like sorcery and a lot more like
math.
So, I came up with this cool idea for a riff, right? And for the time being, I want you to picture this riff as 1/3 of a full pie chart. And you'll understand why in a second. But for right now, I have this cool riff, awesome, but what am I gonna do with it? One cool riff does not a good song make. That's like the one notable exception that I can think of right now, but that's not exactly the kind of song I was trying to make. I was being inspired by a lot of Prince, and by proxy, a lot of giant titans from the 80s, so I was trying to evoke a lot more of that 80s funky vintage synth funk sound, you know, that wow. Excuse me. And what's the most iconic and standout and distinctive sound that comes out of the 80s synth funk era? You guessed it, synthesizer. Make sure this is in focus. Yes, my beard looks perfectly supple. All right. So, the synthesizer is by no means the only distinct sound that comes out of the entire decade of 80s music. It is the most standout one to me. So I figured the best way to sort of recreate that synth funk style music is to play my main melody on a funk-stalgic synthesizer. So I didn't actually use this guy. This is the Korg Mini Korg, by the way. It's actually amazing. Korg Micro Korg, by the way. Micro? Yeah, that's a Korg Micro Korg. I didn't have it when I was making Blowin Raspberries, but I'm pretty sure I would have used it. Now remember that 1/3 of a pie chart? Keep it in mind because it's about to get real important. After I've laid down the main melody of the song, the main idea of the song, the DNA of the song, it's safe to start laying down some, you know, basic drum groove from the beginning, because I feel like that gives the DNA of the song kind of like a driving force, a skeleton, you know, to stand up on. And it just helps me visualize where to take it next, you know what I mean? So I added like the drums. I didn't want anything that was kind of basic and that you can sort of tell where it starts and stops. I kind of wanted it to sound like it just, you know, like a beat that's been banging since the Big Bang, you know what I mean? Just grooving around in perfect perpetuity, kind of like chugga 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 choo choo, you know, a beat like that. So I laid this funky thing down. I displaced the kick in every other bar because I kind of wanted to give the beat a sense of it tripping over itself, because I feel like that adds to the whole driving momentum of it. Like every time you feel like the beat's about to end, it sort of like just trips into the next bar, you know what I mean? I guess I get really in my head when I'm thinking about these things, but it worked for me. And then I added some tambourines just because, you know, I thought it made it sound a lot more like Christmas. And I hope you guys are ready for an invasion, because it's the revenge of the synths. And this is the part where I probably had the most fun. I took the entire continuum of frequencies and I just filled that shit up with synths. Synth this, synth that, and synth I'm adding more synths. Here's some more synths. I don't know how to describe it in words, so I'm gonna just show it to you. Remember that 1/3 of a pie chart I was talking to you guys about? Now I want you to add another third to that. So now we got 2/3, because what we have so far is this. It's all easy if you envision that 2/3 is the area of the song where something is being played. So we got a whole third where nothing is playing. It's kind of just like quiet. I hope you guys are ready for a bass lift. A song without bass sounds like a moment abstracted from reality. Picture a scene from one of the many Fast and Furious movies where a car is coming off a ramp and there's like this ginormous, luxurious explosion happening behind it, and you're seeing the whole thing in slow motion, and the car is like in midair going down like real slowly. I'm pretty sure this happened at least once. That's what a song without bass feels like to me. It's like a moment just suspended outside reality, just waiting to come back. That moment where it comes back, where the car hits the floor and starts driving at full speed, that's what I feel like bass does to a song. I mean, it gives it that driving force, that bubbling energy that just propels it forward. Do I sound stupid to you guys? I don't know. This whole video is a mistake. This is literally my process. So anyway, even after I added the bass, we still haven't added anything to our pie chart. We still just have 2/3 of the area where something is being played, right? You notice how everything stops at the same time, and normally that would be okay. I know a general rule in music is less is more, and you need to use space wisely, and I know a lot of funk purists are gonna look at what I did next as perhaps a cardinal sin, but like, this was the vision that I had for the song going in. I was looking to make something a little more busy, a little more energetic, and so I wanted it to feel like a perfect circle where every musical idea is just playing and passes the baton to the next one, and it just keeps going like that. There was a crucial element missing, and that's where the guitars came in. The approach I was going for with the guitar is something like how Prince used to use the guitar in his early 80s albums, and I love the approach that him and other 80s titans like him would use the guitar in their songs. They would use the guitar as like this accessory, just to add a little, either some glitter or some grit. Me being a guitarist principally, I worry that if I get too comfortable producing songs around my guitar, that I'll just get trapped making guitar music. Guitar is my baby, but when it comes to the production, I put it aside. I normally add it as like the final touch because I don't want to get caught up basing my songs around guitars. If a song is supposed to be like a rock song that's guitar driven, then I'll produce it as such, but otherwise I don't like to make that my go-to. For this song, I kind of just wanted to add the guitar just like as a fashion statement. Without it, the song would survive, but with it, it's just hella better. I initially added the main lead line on electric guitar just to add like a little more, grit. And I find that adding an electric guitar just like, it creates this perfect blend between the futuristic sci-fi sound of the synthesizers and the humane, gritty, holy, rock and rolly holiness of the electric guitar. It's kind of funny actually that the guitar was like the final little piece that I added to the song because it's actually where the song was birthed. So it actually makes my whole idea about the groove circle even more appropriate. What I did was follow my, funk guitar intuition and, just came up with a it's actually my favorite part of the song because I feel like I got the sound of it exactly right and I used it the way I really wanted to use it. I don't know why, but the sound of it kind of just sounds like, jangling keys or like somebody who's just dancing with too much loose change in their pocket. Something about it just sounds like hella fun and like super light and playful, and I just love it. I love its place in the mix, and I love how it completes the circle because it's literally the only thing that plays during 1/3 of the groove circle. So if we're picturing the circle now, we'll hear this. And that was the final piece I was looking for. And there you have it, Blowin Raspberries, a perfect circle. Now let's talk Vox.
Raspberries, when you should be blowing kisses, you heard me right. Give me a shot to clear the air.
The lyrics of the song are pretty straightforward. Full disclosure, I sort of designed it that way. This was never the song that I would have envisioned myself leading a social revolution with, This was something I wrote to be cheeky, to be cute, to extend some positivity to anybody out there who's listening. I wrote it when I was in a very good place, and I wanted that more than anything to shine through to anybody who was listening. That was my lyric writing approach. I was not trying to be groundbreaking with the lyrics. I had an intention, I set an intention, I fulfilled that intention, and I'm happy with the lyrics. The overarching attitude of the song is as follows. Cheer up And stop pouting because you're lucky to be in the presence of a boss-ass bitch like me. And I didn't write that just to be able to gloat about myself. I wrote it because I could picture anybody who's feeling themselves on a good day to be singing the song on the top of their lungs, you know, like a feel-good anthem. And that's like essentially what I wanted for the lyrics, you know, just like I wanted to capture that moment. As far as the delivery of the song, full disclosure, like it was very new to me. I mean, it wasn't new to me, but it was new to the public. Like, I always knew that I had the capacity to sing in that register, and it just scared me to, like, put out a song like that and have people go like, oh, wow.
His voice is really high.
It's just, there's something about it, and I had to battle with myself for a long time. And that was also partly why the song took so long to release, because I felt like my vocals on it, I felt like people wouldn't get it, but I was like, that's the vision for the song, that's the vocal I envisioned for the song, and that's what I'm going with. And you can love it or hate it, but it's the song. This is Blowin Raspberries. I felt like it's just the sound that fit with the style of the song, with the era. I just felt like that was the delivery for the song, and I felt like it was just a lot more playful, a lot less serious. And I sang it like that, and now it's out there, and people are listening to it, and you know, I mean, so far people have been nice about it. I hope nobody's hiding anything from me. I want to sort of like close off the discussion about the song by sharing with you like an encounter I had with my best friend. There was this really awesome moment where I was just, you know, demoing the song to him, and he told me that everything about it, from the vocals to the ad-libs to the harmonies, it kind of just sounds like the listener has two devils on their shoulder talking into their ear. And I love that, and it just made me feel so much more secure in my decisions and the things I chose, the way I chose to make the song. It just felt like everything that I wanted to come through is actually coming through, and like more things that I never thought about are coming through too. Jawad, by the way, apart from being my best friend, is also a phenomenal musician, and I'm gonna link all his stuff below so you guys can check it out. Really, like, you won't be wasting your time. He's incredible. Shouts out to Jivvy. So, I just want to ask, what do you think? Not just about what Jivvy said, but about this whole segment in general, about the song too. Have you listened to it? If you haven't yet, I'm gonna link it below, so go ahead and check it out. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, SoundCloud. What did you think of this whole segment? Would you watch it if I kept doing it? Are you interested in stuff like that, or do I still sound crazy to you guys? For feedback on that, please leave a comment. I will obviously be reading all of them and replying to all of them, so please go ahead and leave a comment and just hit me with a like if you like this video. Don't lie to me, I can take dislikes. Come on, give it to me, give it to me. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this, among other things, because I also post a bunch of other things, so there's never going to be a boring moment on this channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for sticking around. Peace.